Morning everybody, just woken up here at the Riverside Retreat and going to head out for the Constitutional and get that exercise in. Very well appointed room here, and the retreat's got everything that you'd expect. We've got a coffee girl making coffee here. We've got the pool ready to go. So come along, let's get into it. So I didn't mention the name of the resort because I thought it was called the Biden Riverside Retreat, and I thought who would call themselves that, but in fact it is called the Joe Biden Riverside Retreat here. So I'm gonna probably head up this way, see what's up there, and then go back the other way towards the main road. This is Vietnam Steve. I've got a good one for you today. I want to talk about Vietnam being a low cost, cheap, easy location. Come along, let's go. So, you know, I get a lot of comments about people that know a lot about Vietnam, but I'm not sure that they know a lot about all of Vietnam. You know, they talk a lot about the big cities, and we have a lot of cities here. In fact, we've got 58 provinces and 5 city governments. So that's like 63 provinces or states. So that means there's quite a lot to see when you're ducking around Vietnam. Now the 5 big ones, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, you've obviously heard of those two. Da Nang gets quite a mention. Ca To, one we don't hear much about. And of course Hai Phong, which is near me, up near Ha Long Bay. So they're all autonomous cities, and time for a U-turn because the rain has started. There's not that many that have populations over 1 million. In fact, there's only 2 cities here with populations over 1 million in a country of 100 million. So that is surprising. Ho Chi Minh City, obviously a very large city. Hanoi, a very large city. But the rest of them are all below 1 million. And in fact, of the of 87 cities here, only 35 of them have got more than 100,000. So it's rural and regional is the go. So I guess what I wanted to talk about was Vietnam being a cheap, low-cost, easy location. I'm going to have to go and sit undercover to bring this one to you. It's starting to bucket down here. Stay tuned. I'll be right back with you in a moment. Oh dear. Abort. Well, that's a little bit better. I've got myself under a thatched roof arrangement here. It's only spitting, but I could tell it was going to come down. It's quite dark out there today, and earlier when I had a boat ride at Nha Trang An, we got soaked. So look, Vietnam being cheap and affordable, there's 3 main things that really stick out for me. The accommodation has all the standards that you'd expect as a person, I suppose. You can stay in very cheap accommodation. You can stay in very expensive accommodation. We're in something middle of the road here. We've got a family villa with 3 rooms, and we've jammed 9 people into it. So luckily, belly to bed Steve got a bed, but I did notice one of the ladies sleeping on the couch there when I came out this morning. The second thing that makes this cheap, low cost and easy is the food is accessible. So the food is quite cheap. Some things are very expensive here in Vietnam, but food is plentiful, cheap, tasty, and healthy, etc. for retirees and seniors. So a guy like myself that's carrying a few pounds and also getting to the age of health ailments, eating fresh, healthy food is great for me. So accommodation to meet all standards and healthy food for retirees and seniors. And the third thing is that those attractions like the boat trip that I went on and many other places I've been to are affordable and plentiful. So that whole 3-hour extravaganza cost 250,000 dong, and we were out there having a great time for half a day basically. So they're quite affordable, and I've noticed that each of the provinces that I've been to, whether it's been to cities, whether I've been to Da Nang, Phu Quoc, Ha Long, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, Bana Hills there at near Hoi An, they've all got these attractions. And so the Vietnamese are domestic tourists, if you like. So they like to travel from one place to another, go and see what's on offer in that other province and experience those attractions. So there's plenty of attractions out there. So with those things in 3 things in mind, let's get into it. Rightio, I've left the thatch roof because I noticed the dripping on the roof got a little less prevalent. I might pause here because this table's just freed up. I'm going to put the pool in the background, and I'm going to sit smack bang on a wet chair. So, oh dear. So look, the real setup for what I'm talking to you about today is if you're looking to escape from high cost locations, then you're going to need to have an existing nest egg to make sure that it doesn't run out. So don't plan on coming to a place that's got less cost than your hometown and then trying to find some work, particularly if you're in Asia. The Asian countries tend to favour their own population, and difficult to get work at a reasonable remuneration in these places. Make sure you've got that nest egg. So that means, drive that financial freedom number down as low as you possibly can, and you've done the calculations so that you've won the game and you can actually do less. The third thing is if you're looking for stimulation. So the youthful nature of Asia in general and Vietnam in particular. I don't know if you know, the average age in the US or Australia is about 38.5 years of age, is the average age of the population. Here it's way lower than that. It's down around the 32, 33 mark. So not unusual to see at a resort like this, which in Australia would be populated by people of my ilk, actually populated by 28, 29-year-olds with 2 kids. The population is younger, and that creates a more vibrant place, in my opinion. And then thirdly, with Vietnam in particular, they really are receptive to foreigners in the community. So you might have even heard when I was walking back there earlier to dodge the rain, there were people calling over the fence to me, hello, hello, hello. Now, if I had have said Sing Chow to them, we would have had a chat. And admittedly, this morning it's just after 8. If it had been closer to lunchtime, they would have been lining me up for a beer, that's for sure. So people are receptive to foreigners in the community. There's a young population here that makes it vibrant and feels stimulating. You've got to have that nest egg to make sure you can survive, but that might be $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000 a month. It's not exorbitant. And then you've got to be actually looking for an escape from a low-cost locale, not just actually from a high-cost locale, not just actually talking about it. So some people dream about worthy accomplishments, others just get on and do them. So now it's always fraught with danger when there's a walk and talk beside the pool. But I guess if I don't go far from shelter, I'm not going to get any more wet than I am. I have to say the backside of my pants are soaked because that chair was just soaked that I sat on. But anyway, look, I want to give you some insider insights. It's not going to be a long one today, but it's really going to give you those insights that you need to think about what would be the pros of coming to Vietnam and what might be some of the cons. So look, one of the pros that I see about Vietnam, and I'm a former business person, is that they've been developing at a fast growth rate. I think they've been the 6th fastest economy in Asia for many, many years. They're running at about 8 or 9%, and they don't look like slowing down. I've just ducked under the cover here. The cleanliness standards have improved, and my comment is it's clean here. I've got a family member coming later in the year. They're probably worried about, can I drink the water, can I eat the food? I'd be wary of the water where it's coming from, but I've never had any problem with any of the food here in Vietnam. It's clean here. And then while we're talking about food, it's healthy. We're not eating typically the fried food that we see in the West. We're eating fresh food that's semi-boiled and comes straight from the garden. And there's been more than one place where I've actually seen them, run out to the garden, pull up some more greenery because we'd needed a little bit more salad for what we were actually eating. So it's really healthy, it's really clean, it's on the grow, and of course the people are curious. So while I was walking to you then, coming back down the side of the pool, there were people behind me, little girls and boys and the mothers looking out, wondering what the hell this... well, I think they were wondering whether I was going to fall in the pool or not. So the people are curious. English is becoming more prevalent. Every time I'm in an elevator, a kid will ask me, hello, what is your name, how are you? So all the kids are learning English. And I even spoke to a man who was probably about my age and asked, when did he learn English? And he said he learned it in school. So, they've been learning English for a long time, but they haven't been exposed to it. Now they're more exposed to it, it's becoming more and more prevalent. So somehow I'm going to go back to that cover because the rain has started. So I'll walk around this way because I'm undercover, past the coffee lady, back through the jungle here. So of course, no place is all pros. There's plenty of cons here in Vietnam, particularly if you're a whinger. There's plenty to whinge about. I had a whinge about checking into this place. I deleted it because I didn't think it would be useful to whinge, but one of the things that they do here is 2 p.m. is the check-in. They won't let you check in 5 minutes early, so we had to sit for 9 minutes, couldn't check in, and then 2 o'clock came, ring-a-ding-ding, we checked in. So there's plenty of things to whinge about. I put 3 or 4 on the list here. Everybody's reminding me there's no retirement visa. That's pretty much the case in most countries. I know some of the Asian desperate countries have desperate retirement visas, but you try and get a retirement visa for the US, you're going to be waiting half a decade. You try and get one for Australia, you'll never even get one. Good morning. One of the ladies has risen. Let's hope she's going to come back with a coffee for Steve on the way back. I'm not sure where she's going. So there's no retirement visa here, so you're going to have to figure that out. And if you're that way inclined, you will figure it out. If you're not that way inclined, you won't. So typical ways to stay here long term are to get a 45-day visa or a 90-day visa, depending on your country, and do a border run, go out of the country, come back. Obviously fraught with risks because you may not be able to enter on any given day. The second way is to be a foreign investor, set up a business here, and deposit some money, and they will give you a longer term visa. The third way is my way to marry a Vietnamese lady, and I have a husband visa. That's only for 5 years, so I have to behave myself, and they'll check in with her in 5 years' time. And I can only stay for 180 days at a time, so that's the best you get. If that's not you, then don't come here. There is no retirement visa. If you're looking for a retirement visa in Vietnam, it's not going to happen for you. There's limited work opportunities, and so it's retired or bust. You've either got money to support yourself when you come here, or you don't. And if you don't, and you're going to have to work, then you're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, you're not going to get a retirement visa here. You're going to need to come here and be living off savings. You might be able to do some online stuff back home whence you came from for a few years, but most employers will get sick of that eventually. Look, the third one's a big one. There's fraud and corruption still evident in the business community here. I'm presenting at a fraud conference in a few months, and I'm reporting on the biggest fraud in the world. And just a few months ago here, a lady was sentenced for defrauding her company, her bank, of $44 billion US. That's 44 billion. So think Donald Trump and Elon Musk combined. She's got away with 44 billion. Now, needless to say, she was originally sentenced to the death penalty, so she won't do it again. But I think that's been commuted or relaxed or something at this stage. Finally, if you're a whinger, the weather can be hot and cold. So if you come to a resort place like this and it's raining and that's just going to do your head in, then Vietnam's not for you. So here in the summertime, June, July, now, it is normally too hot to breathe. It's usually 35 degrees, feels like 39 every day in Ha Long. I'm in Biden, it's raining. But needless to say, if weather is something that impacts your life every day, and it does to some extent, I understand we always take the weather with us, but it's not something, I do what I'm going to do, whether it's raining or not raining. So, the weather can be hot, so that's not going to suit some people, and the weather can be cold. So in the north of Vietnam in particular, they have snow. And up in Ha Long there's been some days where it's been 10 degrees Celsius, which is colder than I ever get to where I come from. And bitterly cold because there is a breeze. So look, 3 or 4 pros, 3 or 4 cons. You make up your own mind. Let's wrap this one up. So finally, thanks for sticking with me today. Appreciate all the subscriptions, all the comments, all the likes. Keep them coming in. They're always fun to see. But look, all I can tell you is what I do. And so that may or may not suit you. So what I do is I make sure I'm comfortable with living. So I'm comfortable where I'm living. I'm in a nice accommodation. I'm reasonably close to the shops, so I can do what I want to do. I'm comfortable with how I'm living. So if you're comfortable with how you're living, then I'm sure you could make a go of it here in Vietnam. The second thing is I make sure I have the necessary support. So I've got friends here in the community, Vietnamese friends, and not just expat friends. So in fact, I don't have any expat friends in Vietnam. They're all Vietnamese people. Not too many expats have done what I've done. Quite a few talk about it. Quite a few are coming, but not too many have actually done it. So I make sure that I've got the necessary community to support me. If I need to get to the doctor, get to the hospital, that's all going to happen. And part of that comes from having a Vietnamese wife here. She helps with that as well. And then I make sure that the busyness is all automated. So everything's easy. I don't actually have to be busy. I'm actually well able to sit and do nothing. That's probably my superpower. I make sure the The shopping's automated. I get things delivered. I make sure the food is pretty much automated. We're picking up stuff from the market like a robot, and we're going out for dinner as we need to. I make sure that I get my exercise in every day, so it's pretty much automated or easy. I go out and walk 5 kilometres every morning, job done. I make sure the banking is automated, so nothing worse than having to battle banks. I've told you in another video what I do with my banking, so making sure your banking is automated is very, very important. So that takes a lot of stress out of your day. Another one is health. So I look after my health. If I do have a health matter, I make sure I go and see a health professional. This is probably an interesting one, but I source out big clothing because there's not too many big people in Vietnam. So if I find a shop that sells something like this one that's my size, I usually buy a couple. Shoes I generally have to bring from the West. I've got the communication sorted. I'm in constant communication here out in the boondocks of Biden. I'm connected to you guys and to the rest of the world. I've got my accommodation sorted, so I bought a place with my wife here, and we're living in the Dragon Castle. And I guess the last one for people that are coming to do a test run of Vietnam is to get that retirement renewal sorted out. So what are you going to do when the 90 days is up? Are you going to fly to Malaysia for a week? Are you going to get a bus across the border to Cambodia? So that's all for you to consider. So that's really what I do. I guess the only thing left to say is what could you do? So let's have a look at that. So apologies we didn't get the walk in this morning. It's sprinkling down again. I guess breakfast is the next thing on my agenda. So what can you do? Well, obviously make a checklist. Think about the things that might be important for you. I've listed 9 or 10 of my things there just in the previous segment. Make your own list and figure out what it is that is going to be important to you when you get to the foreign location, and how you're going to figure that out. If you know what's important to you and you've got your checklist, then think about how you'll make it work. So what will you do when something goes wrong? Get a list, figure it out what's important to you, figure out how you're going to make it work when something goes wrong. Thanks for sticking with me today. I know it's a short one. Sorry about the rain, not much I can do about that. Hopefully we'll get one out in the sun a little bit later today. Stay frosty. This is Vietnam Steve, and I'll see you in the next one.